Hey. My name is Majestic, and I'm back for another edition of Adult Story Time. So just sit back, relax, use your own imagination, and enjoy. Once upon a time, there was a king, and this king had a lot of gold. So much gold. He was the richest man in the world. He had all the gold of the world. One day he decided that he wanted to share his gold with the rest of the world and the rest of his kingdom. So he decided that he would give 30 pieces of gold to the best performer. And so each week he would have people perform, and he would choose the best performer and give 30 pieces of gold to. People would come from all around. They would come from towns nearby. They would come from his town, and they would come from towns nearby, and they would all gather for the purpose of winning for the king, performing for the king, doing their best to act. And so the king would choose off rip who he liked, whether it was number 2 or whether it was number 2000. If he saw the talent and he liked the talent, he would choose them instantly. One day, the night before the performance, the king was having dinner with his friends and family. And he said at the dinner table that he was going to give 60 pieces of gold this time. And one of his best friends, his close friends, stood up and said, "I want to be in this then. I want to perform for the king." And the king said, No, you're a friend. You can't do that. And he said, "No, sure, watch." And so the king said, "If you insist, let me see what you have." And so he stood up and he stood on top of the table, and he just done his he sung the greatest song he could think of. And he wowed the audience. He wowed everybody that was at the table. And the king said that was good, but not good enough. And so his friends said, "Well, I will just see you tomorrow." And the king said, "Well, you can't be a part of it. You will only have to be in disguise if you do." And so his friend said, "Fair enough. If I want to, then you will not notice me." And so what they decided to do was go to the next day. They decided that they were going to have the performing. And so as they were getting ready for the performance, there was a line outside the kingdom that stretched really far, stretched to the end of the whole entire kingdom. And there were people in line, and they were waiting and ready to show the king their best performance. And so everyone went, and they got to about number 15. And there was this woman, and right in front of, who was in front of his actual friend that was in disguise. And so this woman, it was her turn to go, and she did a beautiful belly dance, which was not heard of at the time. And she done her belly dance, and it was just so elegant and beautiful that he chose her. She actually had a scarf over her face, so he would not know who she was. And he ended up choosing her, and which turned everybody else around that was after her, and told everyone else they can go back home because he has chosen his best performer. And as she goes up there to receive her money, her gold, she gets up there, and he says, "Could I please see your face?" And she hesitated. And he said, "Please, I want to see your face. I want to see who you are." because you have just astonishingly beauty beyond sight. And so she said, well, if you insist. And she took her mask off of her face. And lo and behold, it was his own wife. And that's the end of my story. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a great day and I hope you enjoyed it.